The first ILCA 6 and ILCA 7 World Championships of the LA 2028 Olympic cycle have just concluded, and we've been given a first look into what we can expect for the next 3 years. Held in the 2008 Olympic venue of Qingdao in China, the conditions were anticipated to be light winds with a lot of current. And that's exactly what we saw. Every day felt like some sort of weird indie film where the same thing keeps happening every day for 4 days in a row. The wind would start out light, wind comes in, sailors go on the water, the fog comes, and the wind dies. After 4 days of racing being cancelled, the championship was going to come down to 2 days and no final series. Day 5 of the regatta ended up being the first day of racing and brought light to medium onshore breezes. Although we had steady breeze, it was the famous Qingdao current which wreaked havoc among the fleet, leading to some interesting top mark situations. The ILCA 6 fleet had managed to get in the maximum 3 races, and the ILCA 7 fleet sailed 2 races before the wind died again. Still not enough to make up a world championship. If you looked at the results after the first day, you might have fallen off your chair. I know I definitely did. With so few races and tricky conditions, we saw many new names emerging in the top 20 of both fleets. But as often happens, the big breeze wasn't too far away to separate the real contenders from the one-hit wonders. In a complete 180 from the rest of the regatta, the last day brought offshore breezes over 25 knots with disgusting choppy waves and many capsizes. With no final series taking place, the results were going to come down to boat speed in big breeze and a little bit of luck when it comes to which fleet you're placed in and being on the right side of the 15-degree wind shifts and up to 10 knots of wind speed difference across the course. Although the conditions for the 2 days of racing were very different, one thing was the same across both fleets, which was breakthrough wins for our 2 new world champions. In a fleet where none of the medalists from the 2024 Olympics were present, it was likely that we were going to see some new names emerge at the top of the leaderboard in the ILCA 6 fleet. The Day 1 leader and former World Championship silver medalist Agata Barszczynska from Poland struggled to hold on to her lead and was consistently caught out on the wrong side of the shifts. Meanwhile, in the other fleet, Luis Silveira was consistently in the front group and managed to take the lead at the end of the regatta. Louise is a sailor who seems to be getting better and better every year, and I was very impressed by her consistency in this event. The other standout for me was Eve McMahon from Ireland. After dominating youth racing, she's now starting to make her mark in the senior fleet and rounded out the podium in 3rd. Separated across 3 separate fleets, the last day saw many of the usual suspects emerging at the top of the fleet in the ILCA 7, but a lot of them weren't able to bridge the gap to the podium after inconsistent results on the first day of racing. The exception to that was our new world champion, Willem Wiersma from the Netherlands, who climbed more than 20 places on the second day to emerge as the new king of windy weather. 2-time world champion Pavlos Kontides narrowly missed out on a 3rd world title after having to retire from the 3rd race of the series. And another sailor who I had high hopes for this season, Zach Littlewood from Australia, rounded out the podium in 3rd. The next major championship we can look forward to is the Europeans in Marstrand in Sweden, so stay tuned and thanks for watching.